Hello everyone, welcome to entrepreneurship class. Now today in entrepreneurship I am going to start a new topic which is working capital and inventory management. So first what is capital? As we all know, capital is the fund which is invested in the business. Okay, whatever amount of money which is required to start a business, which is required to run a business is called capital. Okay, now capital is fund or money. This is money which is invested in business to generate income. Why a fund is invested in the business? Because we want to generate income. Income is what? Your profits. So if you want to earn profits, what you have to do? You have to invest money in the business. So capital is fund or money invested. Now why this capital is required for any business? Capital is required for two purposes. First is procuring or investment in long-term assets. Now, what are these long-term assets? See, whenever we start a business, we need to invest, we need to purchase some machinery, plants, equipments for starting up of a business, for starting production. Now, investment in land, building, machinery, these are called long-term assets or fixed asset. Why? Because these assets, they remain invested in the business for a longer period of time. They help in production, they assist in production, and they are invested for a longer period of time, and they are not meant for resale. Okay, now businessman, when he is purchasing land, plant, machinery, these are for use in the business because they help in production process. These are not purchased for resale, for further sale. Okay, so for procurement or investment in long-term assets, we need money, we need fund, and then for doing day-to-day business. That means for day-to-day operations, for running of the business, for meeting the daily requirements like raw material, then payment to the laborers and all. So for day-to-day operations of the business, we need fund. So capital is required for long-term assets and for day-to-day operations. Now next topic is working capital. What is working capital? It is the fund needed for day-to-day operations of the business. That means for this fund. This is what? Working capital. This is fixed capital requirement, fixed capital, and this one is working capital. Now fund which is required for day-to-day operation of the business is called working capital. That means capital required for holding current assets. Okay, whatever amount of money is required for purchasing current asset is known as working capital. Now we all know what is current assets. See, current assets are bills receivable, bills payable, cash in hand, cash at bank, debtors. These are all current assets. And what are current liabilities? Current liabilities are the payments which are made within a year. Like current assets are payment which are received, or the assets which can be converted into cash within a year. And current liabilities are the payments which you have to make, the obligations which we meet within a year. Like you have creditors, bills payable. Okay, now outstanding expenses and all. So working capital is the difference between current assets and current liability. The difference between current asset and current liability is working capital. Okay. Now we'll see what is gross working capital. Gross working capital is the sum total of current assets. That means the total amount which is invested in current asset is your gross working capital. There are two concepts of working capital. Wherever we are talking about working capital, there are two. One is gross and another one is net. Now gross is all the current assets taken together. When we are talking about only current asset, that is gross working capital, and when current asset minus current liability we write, this is what? This is net working capital. Okay. The next topic here is operating cycle, or which is also called cash conversion cycle, that is CCC. Okay. Now what is this operating cycle? It is the duration between buying the raw material and receiving of cash from the customers. That means when operating cycle is a cycle or a time duration between what? Between the purchase of raw material. See, whenever we are in business, the entrepreneur has to invest money for purchasing raw material, and then that raw material is converted into finished product. Then finished product is sold in the market. Sometimes it is sold on cash, sometimes sales is on credit basis. So whenever sales is done on credit basis, debtors are there, and debtors, they pay the money, they pay for the product, sometimes after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever is the term. Now, if the debtors are paying money, suppose after 3 months, then the company, the business will receive money after these 3 months. So this is the duration within which cash is locked up, cash is tied up in the process of operation. This cycle is known as operating cycle. So it is the length of time for which money is tied up in the business, money is locked up in the business. So number of days cash remains tied up in the operation. So when we are talking about operating cycle or cash conversion cycle, that means investment of cash in raw material and then receiving, selling the product and receiving money from the debtor. So this time duration is called operating cycle. Now, operating cycle differs from business to business. So we'll talk about trading concern and manufacturing concern. So as we all know, trading means where buying and selling of goods and services are done. Here there is no manufacturing, production is not there. So when we are talking about a concern which is engaged in buying and selling of goods, first is cash, then cash is invested and stock of goods is purchased, because here only buying and selling is done, no production is done, so goods, stock of goods is purchased. Then these goods are sold. After sales, debtors are there. If you are selling the goods on credit basis, debtors are there, and when these debtors will pay the money, then again business will receive cash. So this is the cycle for a trading concern. Okay, these are the 4 steps. Now when we talk about manufacturing concern, first there is cash. Now this cash is invested into raw material or stock. Now the company is purchasing raw material. This raw material is converted into work in progress. Means what? Some part is complete and some part is still going on. The production is still going on. So that is work in progress. These work in progress is converted into finished goods. Then there is sales. Now it is not necessarily that always sales is done in credit or cash. It is mixed always. Now some money is received immediately, cash sales, and then when there is credit sales, then debtors will be there. And when these debtors will give you money, when you receive payment from the debtor side, then this is what? Debtors, and then cash will be received. So this is an operating cycle of a manufacturing concern. Next topic is inventory control. Now before discussing about the factors on which inventory control depends, we need to understand what is the meaning of inventory. So inventory, in accountancy also we have seen, inventory is the stock of all the items which is there with the business. Means it is the stock of raw materials. It is what? Raw material, semi-finished goods, consumable spare parts and finished goods. When we are talking about raw material, semi-finished goods and finished goods, that means inventory is related with all the stages of production. Okay, so this is what inventory is. When inventory is the sum total of raw material, semi-finished goods, consumable spare parts and then finished goods. Now, why inventory control or controlling these items is important for a business? There must be some importance, so that is why we are studying. So, inventory control is required or it is needed because of 2 purposes. First is providing stock as and when need arises. We control inventory. We always try to control these things because always production should be uninterrupted. As and when required, the stock should be available. And second, to procure stock at minimum possible price. Okay, there is always movement of price of raw materials in the market, and so the business always wants to increase its revenue or profit, the earnings. For that, every business wants to procure the raw material at minimum possible price. So these are the two reasons, that is for providing stock as and when required and for procuring it at minimum possible price. These are the two reasons for which inventory control is needed. Now, what are the aspects which we consider in the process of inventory control? When we do inventory control, what we have to take into consideration? So first one is the space. Space means the area which is required for storing of the stock or the inventory. Now, sometimes very high value inventory take a small space for storage. Like we can take example of diamonds. Diamonds are a very high value, but it requires a very small space to keep it. So likewise, we have to see according to the value. Next point is value only. These two are related. So, space required for a particular product, space required for a particular raw material or inventory is to be taken into consideration before we decide on inventory control. Second is the value. What is the value of the product? Okay, that also we have to think before deciding the inventory control. The next aspect is lead time. Now lead time is the time taken to procure an item. See, whenever order is placed for raw material, the supplier takes some time for supplying those materials. So this is the lead time. So before considering the inventory control and storage, we have to think about the lead time, that how much we are going to store, what is the time required for time taken for getting the raw material from the supplier. Then second consideration is standard versus made to order. Means this is customized or which is provided by a particular supplier only. Standard products, standard raw materials are supplied by a number of suppliers. There are so many suppliers who supply the same raw material. So if it is standard, the number of suppliers will be more, and if it is made to order, some certain suppliers, some particular people will be there who will be supplying that. Now seasonality of supply, we have to see, okay, some raw materials or inventory are available only during a particular period of time. Okay, now if you are based on agriculture product, that means there are some season in which that product is available. So seasonality of supply of raw materials, inventories, and then there are for certain product demand are not uniform or not predictable. That means like seasonal demand for raincoats, umbrellas, sweaters, that is seasonal demand. So that is not uniform throughout the year. And for few products we cannot even predict, like the demand for raw materials, demand for spare parts, we cannot predict in advance. Then we have shelf life, that is the perishability. Perishability means special storage conditions are to be required for that. The goods, the inventory which is perishable in nature, we need to have special storage condition. Then safety aspects, hazardous products like chemicals and all, this also we have to consider before inventory control. And last one is obsolescence, means fall in the value and demand of the product because of change in technology. So this also we have to consider. These are the points which we have to consider before inventory control. Now we'll discuss one principle, that is Pareto's principle. This was given by V. Pareto. He was an economist and he studied the land ownership in Italy, and he found that 20% of the population in Italy was held, they were holding the title of 80% of the land. This was his observation as an economist. So he said that since 20% of the people, 20% of the population of that country, they were holding 80% of the land. So you have to stay focused on this 20%, that matters a lot. Okay, so only these 20% people you have to focus. If you want to make any changes, you have to focus on this. So this principle was given by Pareto, and next the ABC analysis is based on this Pareto's principle. So ABC means always better control. Okay, now here one thing I have missed, that is SKU. This is this you have to understand before understanding the ABC analysis. This is stock keeping unit. Now this SKU is stock keeping unit, means there is a code given to every inventory for identifying it. Okay, in a group you have to identify which inventory we are talking about. or which inventory you have to store where and what control you have to apply. So SKU is given, that means a code is given. It can be numeric, it can be alphanumeric for identification of the inventory. Now ABC analysis is always better control. Okay. Now there are three categories. In this, it has divided the inventory into three categories, A, B and C. So that is why ABC, or you can say always better control. So A, B and C, three categories of inventory is there. Now category A, that is A inventory, 10 to 20% of the item in terms of quantity account for 70 to 80% of the total value of item. Now if you take example of a jewelry shop, there 10 to 20% items in terms of quantity. Now suppose diamond. In a jewelry shop, maybe diamonds are only 10 to 20% in quantity, but the value they are having is 70 to 80% of the total value of the item. The total value of the item stored in a jewelry shop, diamond consists of 70 to 80% of the value, okay, and the quantity is 10 to 20%. Now when we take example of inventory B, 15 to 25% in terms of quantity is they account for 10 to 20% of the value, and C is 65 to 75% in terms of quantity. They account only for 5 to 10% of the value. Okay, so they have in this we have divided inventory into three categories. So where we have to focus more on inventory A and then in inventory B, and less focus should be there on inventory C. Okay, only this much we have to do here in this inventory control. In my next video, I will be discussing the economic order quantity which is related with this. Thank you.